What up? What up? What up? This is Mike the Philosopher here with another one, y'all. This one is the Love Experiment. All right. Now, I don't know if we I think we are approaching the end. I don't know how many episodes is in this series, but it's getting crazy, y'all. All right. Without further ado, let's just go in. All right. Now, the first thing that happened is the women, they start to dance, because it's draft day. And I'm thinking, oh man, look, I can't be mad at that. I think if it was guys, they would be probably dancing too because they get the draft. I swear it seemed like the best and most fun part about this process for the ladies is the draft. They love going in the hall. It's the connections part that is the difficult part. Okay. One thing, these ladies love is options, and listen, it's set up for women. It's set up for them to win, set up for them to find their guy. And, I can kind of see how that would be fun for the ladies, So, I just noticed that they were dancing, getting ready to draft some more guys, and everybody's on the chopping block. Just is what it is. All right. Next up, Paige and Justin. They start acting like a couple to me. You know what I mean? They start acting like a couple. Soon as Justin come in, he started hugging and kissing on her, and she hugging, kissing back, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But you would think, look, under any other circumstance, you would think that they are a couple. You would really think that they are a couple. You would say, look, why don't we just be together? But since they're in this process, I think this process is actually stomping their growth as a couple, believe it or not. I think that away from the cameras, away from the lights, all that other stuff, I think that, they will be together. But I just don't think that it is working out well in this process. I just don't. And it is what it is. I just think that hold on, y'all. Let me switch it up a little bit. I don't think I really like those glasses very much. All right, anyway. And here we go. So I just don't think that I think they would have been better off if they was not in this process, to be honest. I think they actually make a good looking couple. I think they should just rock it out. But the ladies are spoiled with choice, so they're going to take advantage of that. Next up, Tamara just tells Ryan, look, you don't text me enough, man. You don't text me enough. I don't really hear from you. You're the least aggressive guy in this process. Ryan is like, look, I know I should be more aggressive. I'm not used to this type of process. I'm a cool, laid back type of guy. And I'm not the one to be aggressive with women. I don't approach women. That's pretty much what he's saying in so many words, right? And Tamara is just not buying it. I feel like she's starting to shut Ryan out, really. Shut, And once a woman does the whole shutdown, oh my goodness. It's like you're when a woman when she closes the door on a man, you're in Alcatraz, bruh. You gotta do some magic tricks to get off of that island. I mean, you gotta really do some major stuff to escape that island, because they just do not, rarely do women, you know, get out of that unless they really, really either like or love you. Then they'll, get you out of it, reconsider. But for the most part, when women, when they mentally close the door on you, and I think she probably would have done that with Jamal if Mars would have told her sooner what was going on. But since she had a good date with Jamal last episode, she didn't mentally shut down on him. But she's starting to do that with Ryan. I thought that was pretty interesting. All right. Next up is it's around this time, y'all. It's around this time where I start to get an epiphany. And my epiphany is this. I think that this love experiment is doomed to fail. Okay? Doomed to fail. Why do you say that, Mike? Well, because what's going to happen is women are, first of all, listen, these women are becoming spoiled with choice, right? And they're becoming spoiled with expectations. What's going to happen is, say for instance, they pick a guy, okay? Say for instance, Paige picks Justin, right? Once this experiment is over, Paige is going to be expecting Justin to be as chivalrous, as romantic, as thoughtful, as caring as he was in the process when he was competing with other guys. And once the cameras go away, the lights go away, and Justin stopped courting, courting and chasing her, she is going to then start feeling a way about her pick with Justin. Okay. And this could be any of the women. It could be Mars with Chuck, or it could be Tamara with whoever, right? The thing is this, and this is, look, I know I'm not going to make a whole lot of women happy with this comment, but the more choices women have, the worse it is. Okay. As far as relationships go, because women can easily get spoiled with choice. And once a woman receives something from a man, she expects it all the time. This is why women want to be courted forever. Okay? They want to be courted forever. So the hoops that these guys are jumping through to get with these women in this process is not sustaining. And once the lights go out, these women are still going to be expecting these guys to jump through these hoops. They're not, and they're all going to regret their picks. Okay? This experiment is doomed to fail. This experiment would only work with men, and if men were in the power position of choosing the women, because men don't get spoiled with choices. For the most part, we don't. We pick the woman that is right for us in our lifestyle, in our ideal situation. But we don't have the same level of expectations that women do. And if women are being honest, they can vouch for this. Y'all have high expectations practically all the time. Okay, I'm just being real. And the moment you don't get that, you start to panic, and you will interpret it as, oh, he don't love me, or he don't he, you know, where's the romance? He falling out of love with me? What's going on? This, that, and the third. You'll interpret that as something totally different. The men won't really do that. This is a cool experiment, but they shouldn't be doing it with women. They should be doing it with men, but women are the viewers. Okay, so we're trying to this is another thing I noticed. All the networks are competing for ratings. They're competing for who ratings? Black women, because apparently Black women are watching more TV than probably any other demographic per capita. Okay, so everybody's competing for the female Black dollar and the female views. Ready to Love spinoff is, what is that? Make That Move, right? That's pretty much the same thing as this love experiment, except it's, coming to a city. The Love Experiment, that's Black women geared towards them, and everybody's competing for the Black female dollar, because I guess Black women watch the most TV. So I mean, I get everybody's agenda, but it's not realistic. It's not it's for the ratings, and it's not for real. And this is what I want women who's watching these shows to understand, even watching me. This is not real stuff. Okay, those guys gonna have options outside of these processes. They are. And Ready to Love and the Love Experiment, whatever else, they're gonna have options. And y'all, women need to be more realistic. But I think they're setting these women up to fail, because the men are competing for these women on this show. That won't happen in real life. Okay? That won't happen in real life. And if it does happen in real life, you can't expect that level of competition in perpetuity. You see what I'm saying? You can't expect that type of chivalry forever. A man shouldn't have to compete for your love every single day. It should be a give and take. Nobody wants to be chasing somebody forever. I'm going to just be real. At some point, you're going to have to show the same level of interest, or whatever the case may be. And if it's a give and take, that's a healthy balance when it's a give and take. You know what I mean? And there's a level of security with your partner, and knowing that they're going to be there, and I'm going to be there for them. We don't have to compete and chase for each other. I've chosen this man, I've chosen this woman, and we are rocking out together. I put my vote in, I voted them in office. I'm secure with who's in office, instead of all of this, chasing forever. Like, you have to vote every day to choose your mate. Those are the worst relationships, and those fail the most, because it's a forever chase, and you can get tired of chasing somebody forever. All right. So that's when I came to that conclusion that this experiment should not be used on the women. It should be used on the men. And it is doomed to fail if you center it around women, because women will always have that level of expectation, and always have that level of Yeah, just expectations, and want guys to chase them all of the time. And these guys are not going to do that all of the time. And it's going to decay. The relationship is going to decay. This would only work if guys were choosing the women. Next up, Paige asked Justin the gender role question, and he got it right. He's the first guy who got the gender role question right, but I think he had a general idea on how to answer that question. So, he had a little cheat code, but, I don't know. I just think women should expect men to be leaders. I don't understand. Women, why don't y'all expect, why would you even want a man who's not a leader? I don't get it. Like, you want a guy who's unsure and have to ask you for everything? The reason you got a man is to relieve you of more than half the stuff you got going on in your life. That's why you with him. This whole, I don't want my man to be a leader and this, that, and like, those, in my opinion, those women don't deserve a man. Okay? If you don't want a man to be a leader, you don't deserve a man. You just don't. That's a man's role. It's just his role. And often what I'm seeing is that women want men to have the responsibility of a leader, but none of the decision making of a leader. And that's ridiculous. Okay, that's the modern way of thinking, and that is ridiculous. No leader who has all responsibility has no decision making. But only in relationships, and especially in Western relationships, do that apply. Anyway, that's just, at least Justin passed that test, and he answered it correctly, and she was relieved that he said that, but I don't know, I think I seen him tuck his tail between his legs when he said it. Anyway, next up, the women, it just seemed like to me the women just want simps who are leaders. Okay, go out there, slay the dragon, make those millions, make those gazillion dollars, be a man among men, and then come home and then bow to me. That's what women want. They want you to be a man, the man of all men, make that money, and then come home and bow to her, like a Russell Wilson, for instance, and a Sierra, okay, or like a Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. That's an ideal scenario for a lot of women. That's not realistic, and it caught up with Will, and it's only a matter of time with Russell. It's only a matter of time. I'm just saying, I'm not wishing no bad on nobody, but I'm just keeping it real. It's only a matter of time. Anyway, next up, Justin seemed pretty confident in his position with Paige. He just seems very confident in his position. And the weird part about that is Paige don't like that. Paige don't like that Justin is confident. Like, why? And this is what I was talking about with the whole, this is not going to work with women, because they're going to always be expecting. Expectations are, all this does is promote unrealistic expectations and push them through the roof with these women. That's what they do. Justin can't even be confident in the connection he has with Paige. And later on, I'm going to explain why I think this is ridiculous. I'm going to compare it to this situation too. That, well, I'll just say it now. Paige doesn't like that, Paige doesn't like that Justin is confident in their connection. And if y'all watch the show, you see that Mike came back. Paige is mad that Justin is not fighting for her. Mike came back and he's almost ready to go to blows for Tamara. Both are wrong. Okay? When the guy is not fighting for you, they're in the wrong. When the guy is fighting for you, tooth and nail, they're in the wrong. This is what I want women to understand. Y'all confusing as hell. I'm gonna just be real. Okay? Y'all are very confusing. What do you want? Do you want a guy to be confident that y'all together? Or do you want to be a guy to really fight for you for real? Now, some might say, oh, well, it's somewhere in the middle, somewhere in that gray zone. Okay? Women love to live in the gray zone. Watch my gray zone video if you don't understand. But pick a struggle. Okay? Which one would you prefer? Now, some women might be turned on by Mike and how aggressive he came of defending what he considered his woman. I'm like, dude, you you just came back. What are you talking about, your woman? You know what I mean? But I'll get more into that a little later on. But my point is this, that in a lot of situations with men, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. All right? You're damned if you do be a leader, and you're damned if you don't. You're damned if you fight for your woman, and you're damned if you don't. Okay? This is where women gonna have to come together and say, look, we got to make this message more clear to these men, because we walking around here confused. We're confusing these men. All right. So I don't know. I just found that odd that Paige was, upset with Justin for him, being confident that they're together. But, I don't know. It's just all confusing. It's just all confusing. All right. Why can't a guy be comfortable that y'all have a connection? Why can't a guy be comfortable that, look, she's going to come back to me? You know what I mean? See if she flies back to me. I'm a release her like a dove. See if she flies back to me. A lot of women don't like that. Another thing I discovered is women have very contradictory likes and dislikes. They like things one way and they dislike things another way. Let me give you an example. With Paige, right? Paige wants a guy who is, will consult with her as far as gender roles and leadership in the household. But she wants a guy that is going to fight for her and defend her and not be so comfortable. Those are two different guys. You understand what I'm saying? if you truly want a leader, that guy he's going to be acting more like Mike. Okay. If you truly want a leader, he's going to act more like Mike. And he's going to be fighting for you. But you don't like a guy fighting for you, well, then you don't want a leader. Now, Paige, she doesn't want a leader, but she wants her man fighting for her like Mike. There's a personality trait that you need in order to do that. But when you split apart those responsibilities or those actions, you want two different men. What I'm saying is, a guy's personality trait is finite. It's going to be a certain type of direction. If you're going to want a leader, and if you want a guy to fight for you, Paige, like Mike, he's going to be the type of guy that leads the household. He's going to be the type of guy that leads the household. So you got to figure out, what type of guy do you want? Do you want a simp? You can't have a simp and have a leader at the same time. You got to choose which one you want, because a simp is not going to lead the household, and he's going to consult with you all of the time, and that's what you like, right? Well, okay. Well, then don't expect a leader then. Okay. And is Justin that type of guy? I think he is. I think he's leaning more towards the simp side instead of the leader of a household side. So you can't be asking for contradictory traits, personality traits in a man is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You have to figure out, and listen, she's not the only one guilty of this. There are a lot of women guilty of this, asking for contradictory traits in men as if they want to build a man. Okay. And the problem with that is the things that they want in a man can't exist at the same time. They can't coexist. These traits can't coexist. So that's one thing not only Paige and not only the rest of these women on this show is going to have to come to terms with, but all the women who watching this show, you're going to have to come to terms with. And men is guilty of this too. Okay, you can't have a big booty chick that you love, and she was dressing like a thought, and then all of a sudden, you want a church woman. Okay. Look, there was a saying, you can't turn a what into a housewife. So stop expecting people to change certain things. Meet them where they are, wherever you found them. Expect them to be there all the time. You know what I mean? Anyway, that being said, let's just go back in. Tamara goes back to Kenny, right? And he is he's very insecure about or unsure about the process. Kenny is a trip. Kenny is just a trip, man, because this guy, I don't know if it's overconfidence or what it is with this guy, or it's arrogance. He got spoiled rich white boy energy. Okay. And even though he's in a competitive situation, he feel like Tamara should be chasing him. Like, dude, get over yourself. Okay. You're not the only eligible bachelor in here. You're not the best looking guy in here. You're not maybe you are pretty successful with your relationship, your real estate portfolio, but get over yourself, man. Get over yourself. You know, he's probably used to sisters chasing him. I'm gonna just be real. Kenny is probably used to sisters chasing him because they probably done a lot of that. And he probably smashed a lot of sisters. So he think he know the psychology of them. Well, you were never put in this position of competition before, bro. Not direct competition. But all this arrogant stuff for the birds, man. Get over yourself. All right. I just found that interesting. Um, Part of me don't feel like he's attracted to Tamara, if I'm being honest. Okay. Because a guy who's attracted to a woman wouldn't be moving the way Kenny is moving. Kenny is moving like he could take her or leave her. It doesn't matter. She ain't all that. You know, you chose them, whatever. He moves like a guy who's not even attracted to Tamara. So I've been seeing Tamara give this guy every chance in the world to win her over. I've seen Tamara get more than any other man. I've seen her give Kenny the most rope to lasso her in, but Kenny pretty much steps on the rope every time. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't even know why she keeps giving this guy so many chances. Chris apologizes to Paige, and it doesn't work. And like I said before, y'all, when a woman psychologically shuts the door on you, she's done. She's done. It's the apologies, whatever, because everything after that is going to look like a lie. Okay. Even if you apologize and say, look, I was wrong, I was this, that, and the third, she will hear it as a lie. No, that's not what you really feel. What you said at first is what you really feel. So I'm going by what you said at first. All of this stuff is to win me back, and it's a lie. I'm not buying it. That's just how women think. A lot of women think. And I'm not even saying that men don't think like that too. Maybe that's just a human nature thing, you know what I mean? But women are really, really, really known for that. Really, they don't really compromise when they mentally shut the door on you. If they're not in love with you or never been in love with you, I mean, they shut the door. They move forward, and there is nothing you could do or say practically to get back in their graces. It's just nothing. So when Chris was apologizing, I'm like, dude, get up. Don't apologize. You said what you said. Stand on your square, and it just is what it is. You just lost out on Paige. Just move on. And sure enough, it didn't help him at all. And I think a lot of times, even when men apologize for something they said or whatever, I don't think women really respect you after that. Why are you going back on your word? You said this before. Okay, now you're apologizing about how you feel. I don't buy it, and I lost some respect for you at the same time. So I didn't think it was a good look for Chris at all. I understood what he was trying to do, but no, bro. You shouldn't have never apologized. Maybe you should have, if you were going to do anything, you should have clarified what you meant a little bit more, but you shouldn't have apologized for how you felt. That's a different story. And if she didn't accept your explanation, then it is what it is, but don't apologize for how you feel. That's how you were raised. You were raised in a Christian home, and obviously she wasn't built for that. So she's not your girl, dog. She's not your girl. I tend to think that women will, and look, ladies, let me know if I'm wrong about this, but I mean, look, this is just in my experience. I often find that women will believe the negative 1,000 times more than they believe the positive a man says to them. If a man says, "You're beautiful, you're gorgeous, I love this, that, and the third," they can say that 1,000 times. Once they say something negative, oh, you picked up a little weight. Boom, they remember that shit forever. They remember that forever. You cannot talk them. You cannot reason with them. You can this, that, and the third. You could give them 1,000 compliments before that. But once they hear that negative one, that's it. All bets are off. And that's what sticks with them the most. That's what they remember. That's what they, bring up years later. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. You know, they will remember the negatives 1,000 times more than they remember the positives, and that's just being real. And that's just, I'll put it this way, that's my experience with a lot of women. Okay, and I got enough information for the research. Okay, I've been with my fair share of women, so I think I know what I'm talking about with that. So, um, next up is Tamara walks into the hall, right? Tamara walks into the hall, and who is the first person that she goes to? It's Kenny. It seems as though this guy, look, is she that physically attracted to Kenny? I'm just not understanding. What is it about this guy that's so attractive to you? I'm not a woman. Ladies, put it in the comments. What do y'all think? Is Kenny that delicious looking to y'all? I just be curious to know, because as a guy, I don't know how women judge men. That's one thing I'm not. I don't know what women are looking for in men. So let me say, I don't know what Tamara sees in Kenny. I really don't. Really don't. Not physically, not mentally, not anything. I don't know what she sees in this guy. But she must be physically attracted to this guy to get this guy so much rope. She gave him so much rope that he is still on his feet. Okay. But Kenny is choosing to sit down. He is choosing to sit down. And, it's like, dude, she gave you the most rope and you want to sit down now? Okay, you can hang yourself sitting down, but all you got to do is stand up, and you ain't gonna be hanging yourself. I mean, she gave you the most rope. All these other guys, they ain't got that much rope. I'll tell you that. Maybe Jamal do now, but I just found it odd that Kenny was the first guy she ran to in the hall. Like, for real? I mean, you that attracted to this guy? I don't know. I don't know. Um, she said to Kenny, "Why are you smiling so hard?" Right? And she just said to Kenny, "Why are you smiling so hard?" And Kenny just, hey, this, that, and the third. I thought the process was over. This, that, third. Look, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. You pick them other dudes, this, that, this. I'm the ish. Okay, what you gonna do? You don't already pick those other guys. He was pretty much saying, I'm done with this process. I ain't even interested in you no more. I mean, why you even come back to the hall, bro? That was my whole thing. Like, the whole Kenny thing is a bit telling, because it shows shows a lot of other men the leeway that some men get over other men. I'm gonna just leave it at that. And this is a real thing happening in real life, And a lot of sisters do this, a lot of men do this with other groups of women. I ain't gonna even front. I just find it ridiculous, disgusting that people are judged on such a curve only due to their race for the most part. Look, judge someone on their character. It's almost as if a lot of times black people judge other black people the way other groups judge black people. Why are you taking their mentality? You should be in favor of your group. Other cultures are in favor of their group. Black people, I don't know, not so much. It don't look like it to me. We give more people more leeway than ourselves. I don't dig that. I don't like that. I think that's whack as hell. The wackest shit ever, for real. Anyway, now, and this ain't even no hate on other groups either. It's not a hate on other groups. It's just, I mean, they doing what they do, but the way we move with this, I call it Stockholm syndrome mentality, is just, I don't know. It just gets under my skin. It just gets under my skin. But Tamara ends up drafting Mike. All right. Mike is back in the process. And this guy, Mike, is a character. He really is a character. This guy is, I'll get to it a little later. Anyway, she drafts Mike. Mars, she ends up meeting with her guys, and she seems to me, Mars seemed to really love this power, man. She really seems to love this power. You know, she sat with her guys. I think we all know why we're here. You know, I'm in a power position and I'm going to make a decision. And I understand, but I don't see the other women so power hungry as Mars. Maybe the other women, I think probably the reason is Paige is I think she's a business owner of sorts, right? Tamara has a job as a stewardess, and she owns a boutique shop or clothes shop or something like that. Mars is just a flight attendant. That's all she do. So I think in order for her to feel like a boss, she's getting a little moist from this position. Okay. The other ladies, they been in this position before. They have boss responsibilities. Okay. They have boss responsibilities already. So they're not tripping off of this process. They're not getting drunk with the power. Mars is probably the least, the woman with the least boss responsibilities in real life. So she's getting really moist off of having this power. It's a dynamic that is, I don't know. I wouldn't say, look, I get it. I understand. But you could hurt yourself in this process if you focus more on that than actual connections. Like right now, I can't even really say who I think that she is connected to the most. I don't know. It's just she seemed to be more interested in the power than in the connections. But she ends up sending Ishan home. Okay. She said there was not a romantic connection. I get it. um, why you chose him to go on the, you know, retreat. Uh, Maybe you wanted to see if there was a spark there with you and him. And it didn't work out. Like I said before, the guys who win these competitions, you're in the worst position. You really are in the worst position if you win competitions. Because I'm gonna tell you, Chris, he won the competition. He was at the treat, went home. Ishan, he was at the competition. He won the competition. He was at the retreat, went home. Now, Jamal, if Tamara was a different type of chick, he would have went home. But because they had such a great date, it saved him. You know, if Mars would have told Tamara before they went on that date, Jamal would have been going home. But she did him a huge favor by not telling Tamara until after they had that date. That's what saved his ass. That's really what saved his ass. But the more you get to know these women, the more it seems that they want to get rid of you. Just being real. So I don't know. I find that very, very interesting. Ryan gets eliminated by Tamara. You know, the guy came in. He came in with the breakfast of champions, blew her kisses. You know, look, I want to set an impression. Here's the thing. It probably was a little too late. She probably feel like he was just trying to save himself. Like I said, when a woman psychologically shut down on you, it's rare. It's rare that they come back from that. And I think that that's what his situation was. They felt like he was trying to save himself. And it was too little too late. Like, if you were going to do that, you should have done that in the beginning. He didn't do it in the beginning, but it was too little too late. And she had to make some decisions. But, you know, I just found that interesting. And let me say this. It all came down to even though most of the non-black guys got all of the opportunities in the world, the most rope to the most rope to work with, they all got sent home. So the question is this a culture thing? Is a culture thing a real thing? You know, me personally, I don't think people date for race. I think people date for culture. Okay. I think black men choose non-black women for cultural reasons, not because of not so I'm not saying there's probably 5% that do it for skin tone, but there are 95% who do it for cultural reasons. A group of women may have a different culture, like than the culture that they're in. Same thing with the women. Women might go for, say for instance, white guys more because of the culture of those men versus the skin tone. Like I said, some women will go for the skin tone things too. Yeah, I'm a bump that up to 10%, maybe even 20%. 20% do go for the skin tone, but the other 80%, both men and women, they go for the cultural difference, not so much the skin tone difference. I just found it odd that all of those guys ended up getting eliminated and they all ended up with brothers. So that the question is, was it a cultural thing? Y'all put it in the comments. What do y'all think? Did they not connect with these guys culturally? Or what did you think it is? Or they just had maybe a funny batch of of non-black guys to choose from, kind of nerdy, kind of arrogant. What do you think it is? Why did all of those guys end up going home? I'd be interested to know. You know, so the two new guys, Henry and Nicoy, it really was started, kiss the ladies behind. Okay. And listen, this is their introduction. I get it. So you got to make an impression. So both Henry and Nicoy, I think Henry was like something like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," or whatever. And Nicoy is like, "Oh yeah, I'm a plant dad," and all this other stuff. You know, do y'all think that they were kiss and tell? And what do you think about the new guys? What do you think of Henry? What do you think of Nicoy? Who would y'all pick? Put it in the comments of those two new guys, or just who would you pick out of all the guys that are left right now? I'd be interested to know that. Um, you know, Paige is really not feeling the fact that Justin is not fighting for her. She really not feeling that. And like I said before, Paige, you can't be mad at that because you don't want a leader. You've already established that. Only leaders fight for what they want. Okay. You want um, contradicting personality traits in a man. And that's the part she don't understand. She want contradictory personality traits. You got a guy who's not going to be trying to be the leader of the household, then you need to accept the fact that he's not going to be fighting for you in the way that you want. So don't beat up on Justin for that. He is aligned with his personality trait. You got to decide that that's something that you really want, or you could just go after a guy who is a leader and is going to be fighting for you. So you got to figure out which one of those things you value more. And it looks like you value the guy being more docile as the leader in the household. That was a big trigger for you. So the fact that Justin is not fighting for you, you're gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to deal with that. Now, if you don't want to deal with that, then you're never going to find your guy. Okay, you're never going to find your guy because you're asking for two different things. This is what I want women to understand. You got to figure out what you like in the guy, and you got to say, I like these things in the guy. You got to prioritize what you like in the guy. But liking a guy for these prioritized things is going to come with certain personality traits. You can't, you just got to deal with that. Tamara questions Jamal, if he likes her, or if he likes the idea of her. I thought Jamal's answer was pretty good. Like, look, people get caught up in that. I'm just going with the flow, see how it feels, see if it's natural, and see if we can, make a connection. I'm not, like the idea of you. I'm sure Jamal didn't even understand what that meant. Like, the idea of you. What do you mean, the idea of you? You're a woman just like a billion other women. Like, I got a good idea of you. Like, I don't even know what that means, really. Do you like me, or do you like the idea of me? And I think she's saying, do you like me genuinely, or do you like the idea of winning me in this competition? But I don't know. I can understand that, and that's a fair question. I mean, she didn't ask it that way, but that was my take from it. But I could see that being a fair question, especially since he was doing the T-Rex things. I can understand her asking that question if he actually said it. And plus, he was acting a little laid back with the situation too, and he seemed to kind of disappear like Justin did when they were all grouped together in that indigo room. But I don't know. I just think that it was a fair question, but I really dug his answer for that. So it was what it was. Now after that, Mike get real jealous. Okay, Mike is back and he gets real jealous, and he said he will knock a mother effer out. Okay, for his woman. Don't putting your hands on my woman. And Josiah is like, bruh, what? You just came back. Your woman? What are you talking about? And he ain't about to back down. Shout out to Josiah. Mike was claiming he was drunk, but he was given very thirsty. He was given very thirsty and possessive. Now, one thing he said is, yeah, Tamara, it was looking like you like vanilla and I'm chocolate. I cracked up with that part because I know what he was talking about with Kenny. Like, oh, is she picking all these vanilla dudes? She picking all the vanillas. That's what she like, and I'm chocolate. Maybe I wasn't her speed. I listen. I would probably came to the same conclusion if I was Mike too, because her draft picks with Kenny and what's his name, Jeremy. I'm sorry, Ryan. Kenny and Ryan. I would come to that conclusion too. You must like vanilla, because you sure ain't picking a lot of chocolate. So, but he became overly possessive, man, and just looking real thirsty. And I'm interested to see how this beef with him and Josiah is going to go, because I wouldn't be surprised if they square off, But Tamara ain't none of they woman, so I don't know what they like, physically trying to fight for. But at the same time, those are, everybody's trying to be the alpha guy. And Mike looked like he only $125 wet. I mean, he up here talking about he'll knock a dude out. I'm sure he'll get his ass knocked out. I don't know. It's just like, dude, you the smallest dude in here. You talking greasy? I don't get it. Anyway, Paige, got mad at that, and at the same time she was trying to tell Mike, look, you got to calm down. I don't know. I don't know. My whole thing is, look, do you want the guys to be fighting for you, or do you want the guys to not be fighting for you? I noticed that Paige is mad, Justin is not fighting for her, and Tamara is mad because Mike is fighting for her. And it's like, this is what I'm talking about with you damned if you do, you're damned if you don't type of situation with a lot of these ladies. They want contradictory personality traits. And sometimes men can be in a no-win situation. It happens so often. And this is what women need to come to terms with. We need to really understand what we are getting with the things that we want. If we want a leader, fighting for us is going to come with that. Okay? If we want a simp behavior is going to come with that. He probably not going to fight on behalf of our honor. So you're not going to have security with a simp. Okay? You're going to have to live with that. And if nothing else, that is what I want women to understand the most, especially out of this episode. You have to figure out what you really want and what comes with that in a man, because men are put in these damned if they do, damned if they don't situations, and you're asking for contradictory personality traits, and all of that ain't in one man. Okay, you're pretty much asking for what you consider the best parts of a man. Well, you're gonna have to get 10 men just to build your perfect man, and that is ridiculous. Okay, prioritize your list on what you need in a man, top 10 things, and make a list alongside that some negative things that might come along with that. He's gonna have to fight for me if he's a leader. I want a man who's financially secure. Okay, he might want me to stay home and barefoot and pregnant. Okay, but he's going to pay all the bills. He might want another wife. He might want 2 or 3 wives. Okay, but he's a high value man. There's going to be pluses and there's going to be minuses that come with each one of those. And this is what a lot of women don't do. They look at the pluses, but they don't pay attention to the minuses that come with that. And you're setting yourself up for failure because you're asking for things that aren't aligning. Okay. And listen, I'll just leave it at that. That's what I want women to walk away with the most, and guys to walk away with the most, that sometimes we can't win, brothers. Sometimes we can't win. Because what they're asking for is not a real thing. And we shouldn't beat ourselves up about that because they haven't figured it out yet. And that's one thing they got to figure out. But all that being said, interesting episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. All right. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Wow.